Manchester United ready to cash in on Rasmus Hojlund for £40 million. West Ham among clubs interested in signing the youngster in the summer. Could it also be the end of Xerxes and the strikers at United? We know the number one priority after wing-back is striker, and a big overhaul there in the summer. Academy left-back that could also probably play left centre-back in a back three is called into first-team training for the first time. Heaven Kokonki also options as Lissandro Martinez's injury puts him out for the rest of the season. No one is coming in. Luke Shaw is not ready and back. So Mazraoui and Yoro are probably the left centre-back options, but both probably better at right centre-back. So this is time for the youngsters. Could Ayden Heaven be unleashed? He was in his Leacher backup. Is Obi Martin going to be unleashed? He was in first-team training reportedly. What is the latest on Luke Shaw? Is he out for a week? Is he out for 4 weeks? There's contradicting news on his injury. INEOS have come up with Plan 21, their plan for the future involve, Wilcox, Barada. What are they planning? What is Plan 21? What is the plan for the youth and more? So, hello and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to your 10-minute roundup, where we're going to round up all the Manchester United news that's come out today in a 10-minute video for you guys so you are up to date. West Ham have identified Rasmus Hojlund as a potential target for the summer. Manchester United are ready to sell him for around 40 million plus bonuses. If I'm United, considering that you paid 60 million for him and 12 million bonuses, which is 72, you probably want 50 million for him at least. I know he's not been the best, but he's young. He showed a lot of potential in his first season. I was talking about Hojlund earlier today with Cass, and I was saying my problem with Hojlund is I really like and I want to believe in Hojlund, and I think it would be crazy to write him off this early. I still believe he can be a top striker, but I have a bit of frustration with Rasmus Hojlund because he scored 16 goals in his first season. He, obviously inconsistent in the graveyard shift at United, playing in a poor system, didn't get much service, but he scored 16 goals. His link-up play was good at times in the Champions League. When he got a bit of space to run at people, he was good. He had some good runs. He came off the bench right at the back end of the season and was scoring goals. And he has a good shot on him. If you give him the ball in a good area, he can score. He's got a good shot on him. He's a good finisher. And you know that with the ball in front of him, he's good at running at players. Like, there's a good player there. There's good fundamentals. And I still believe Hojlund could be a good player. But when you play for Man United, you've got to show progress. I know the system's changed. I know he hasn't got the best players around him. And I know that he is in the graveyard shift. But it's just the little things like his hold-up play, his movement, his wrestling hasn't evolved this season. Why I don't want to write off Rasmus, because that would be crazy. He's so young. Part of me looks at him and thinks, like, this guy might need a loan, because I still feel that when the system is complete, we have the wing-backs, we have the 10s, we have the midfielders and the centre-backs, and Rasmus has a bit of confidence in him, because I think some of it's confidence. He can work. I don't want to be reactionary to this season, but when he was signed for such a fee and he's regressed since last season, and you've got a new manager in, and this new manager didn't sign Hojlund, you can understand why United would potentially be open to selling the players. Hojlund himself should have cost us 40 million. It was a 40 million pound player that we spent 72 million on because, Murta bends over backwards to everyone. Like, we spent 85 million on Anthony when we could have got him for 40 million. But I think it's quite obvious that Amorim does not rate Hojlund or Xerxes. We played Maino. Well, he played Maino 9 versus Crystal Palace, which didn't work. But that just shows I want a striker. Maybe he said this is the last game before the transfer window. Maybe if I play Maino at 9, they'll realise they need 9. He doesn't rate Rasmus or Xerxes. Like, Xerxes' touches is a bit better, and I think he's better on the ball than Rasmus, and better with his back to goal, which is ultimately what striker's doing at the moment. But, like, Rasmus is a better goal scorer, and if you put the balls down the channel and you let Rasmus run down the channels, there's a dangerous player there. But we don't play that way at the moment because we can't even get the balls down the channel. So I think, there's definitely an exit for one, maybe both. Even Amorim said Xerxes is not an out-and-out striker, doesn't see Xerxes as a striker long-term. I think one or two of the strikers could be out in the summer. Laurie Whitwell, who's a very reliable journalist, United's number one priority, is the striker. But my question to you is, right, we've got a self-striker in the summer. Would you loan Rasmus, give it a bit more time, or would you sell him, or would you say keep him, give him one more season because he's young? Same with Xerxes. Let me know in the comments down below what you do. But let's talk about the academy. Let's talk about more youngsters. So this was said by MUFC Academy 91. Under 18s left back and 17-year-old Danke Plunkett trained with the first team today. He signed from Aston Villa in summer 2024. A lightning quick defender. What do we need at pace? Very hard to get done by, reads the game well, and also sometimes flies to the back of the net. Very dangerous going forwards, down the wings, and impressed really well early in the season till this year. Interesting one. Let's see what happens next. So, I'm not going to act like I've watched loads and loads of him. I've watched a little bit of the under 18s, a little bit of the under 21s this season, but not loads because I focus on first team and everything. But exciting player that is rapid, young player called up into training. I think United will be looking at people that can play left wing back and left centre back, and potentially involving them in training. Some people are saying, is it Martinez cover? I still think Heaven and Conky and Martinez cover, because obviously left backs can sort of play left centre back in the system. But I think with him being more of attacking minded left back, I see him as more left wing back cover. I see him as more Dorgu cover rather than a Sandro Martinez cover. I see it as Malassi has gone. We need an extra left wing back cover in training. That's why I think it's Dante. I don't see him as Martinez cover. What I see as Martinez cover is Ayden, Heaven, and Conky. Now, let's talk about Ayden, Heaven, because it was said that United reached a full agreement with Arsenal to sign 18-year-old defender Ayden, Heaven, and Ayden, Heaven is considered a first-team signing and will provide competition and cover for Lissandro Martinez. Now, this was obviously said before Lissandro Martinez suffered that ACL injury. Luke Shaw has now had an injury setback. I'll get into that in a second. And this could be a big call up for Ayden, Heaven. You know, Obi Martin was apparently in first team training. Ayden, Heaven being involved in first team training. Again, not expecting Ayden, Heaven to start, not expecting Obi Martin to start, not even expecting them to be in the squad. But I do think we could see one of Ayden, Heaven or Obi Martin in the squad. If Godwalker Conky was getting in the squad earlier in the season, and now Martinez is injured and Ayden, Heaven is sort of viewed as a bit more developed than Godwalker Conky, I think we could see Ayden, Heaven in the squad. I think potentially we could see Obi Martin in the squad. I know that Ruben Amorim's reluctant to throw youngsters in because the environment's unstable and he doesn't see it's the right time, and he would rather wait till pre-season to actually have a look at the youngsters himself. You know, there is potential we could throw them in. I do think with the youngsters, Obi Martin, Sekou Kone, he's going to take a good look at them in pre-season, same with Diego Leon, and gently mould them in, because you've got to remember they're 17, 18. We can't just think that Ayden, Heaven's going to come in and save us, and, you know, Obi Martin's going to come in and save us. You know, Luis Skelly and Wanyeri have been very good for Arsenal, but they're not going to save Arsenal season. Arsenal are still looking for a striker, you know. Ahmad, when he was 18, made some good cameos for us, but he wasn't ready. He went out on loan to Rangers, he went out on loan to Sunderland, and look at the player he is now. Ahmad is now 22. You know, these are players that in 3-4 years' time could be really, really good players, and like the Ameth Diallos to our squad right now, they could be good players like Maynard, like Garnacho, that show potential. But you're not going to expect someone in your prime. But I think, you know, with the injury crisis we've got, it's definitely an option to think, you know what, maybe we just give these kids a couple of goes here and there, nurture them, but they are more so ones for the future. Continuing on, it was said that sources around Manchester City expect Manchester United to make similar moves to Chelsea for academy graduates in the coming year, with Jason Wilcox as technical director. United are looking at the best academy graduates. We've done that before. INEOS with Garnacho from Atletico, Toby Collier from Brighton, Harry Amas from Watford, Bian Sheary as well. Was that from Swansea or Cardiff? You know, we've done that before. We always like to go out and sign. We signed Joe Hugo from Sunderland, some of the best young players up there. We signed Charlie McNeil from Man City, and some of them work out, some of them don't. But Alvaro Fernandez we signed from Madrid, Mark Gerardo we signed from Barcelona. We always look to sign some of the best youngsters out there. It was said that Luke Shaw suffered a setback in his return from injury, but it's not too serious. Could be out but it could be back in training early next week. United Menace is quite a reliable source of information, said that could be a 4-week setback. Chris Wheeler and Mike McGrath are suggesting that this could be a 1-week setback, and he could basically be back in training as early as Monday morning. It was apparently a mixed diagnosis or something. So, what's the situation at left centre back? Luke Shaw, if he can stay fit, plays. Yoram Masraoui would probably like to cover the position. Maybe Delo gets trialled there, you never know, but we probably need, if Ahmad plays right wing back and Dorgu played left wing back, Heaven's his first choice backup for that position so he could get minutes, and got Kokonki and Plunkett could be emergency options, but I think Plunkett would be thrown in at left wing back, not left centre back. I think he was called in to training as a left wing back, despite people thinking he could go left centre back. So what is this vision at 21 that's come out from Lawton of the Times? He said this: Sir Dave Brailsford has unveiled a plan for Manchester United staff called Mission 21, which aims to bring the club's 21st Premier League title. Please bring it in the next couple of years. It was said that Brailsford wrote the plan with the help of John Morton, a professor at Liverpool John Moores University, who was a former head of nutrition and performance at Team Sky and former Liverpool nutritionist. Brailsford and Norton presented their Mission 21 project to performance managers at Carrington. The project is part of Project 150 initiative, which was presented by Omar Barada last fall and linked to the club's 150th anniversary in 2028. The goal for United is to win a Premier League in the year 2028. Next year, we get back on track. We look like a team that's definitely going to finish in the top 6. That's 2026. 2027, we push in, become a Champions League team. 2028, maybe we win a title, but there's a lot of work to do. I'd like that to happen. And the main players in this project are Barada, Wilcox, Coleche, Roche, and Brailsford. So this is new stadium, nutrition, everything like that. Look, I hope United get back on track. I think INEOS are an improvement on the Glazers, and they've got a strategy, and I get it's a long-term thing, and they've got to undo 18 years of Glazer rubbish. but I'm not confident in the project. We didn't have a good January window. We've not spent badly. Bad decisions like bringing in Ashworth and sacking him, spending all that money on Tenol just to sack him. I'm not confident. Like, I'm glad that we've got Murta and we've got not Murta, sorry. I'm glad that we've got, Murta and Arnold out and Barado and Wilcox in. I think they're much better people to do the job. But to say I'm convinced, I don't think any of us can say we're convinced right now, because we are in a worse place than we were this time last year. And if someone had said that to me a year ago, I would have probably wanted to cry. I'd have been like, nah, we'll be better next year. But we've not. We spent all that money just to get worse. Now, that's not Amorim's fault. That's because we spent all the money for a system that Amorim does not play. And that was a big mistake from us in advance. But listen, people, that is your 10-minute news roundup. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you for watching. Bye.